Bish, bosh, bash. We are back after another fantastic, sizzling week of Premier League football.
It actually was nuts.
The
Sunday was crazy.
They don't call it Super Sunday for nothing.
They normally do. It normally
as well
stinks.
on there.
Yeah.
That was the least magical thing that happened. That was nuts. We are back. BoreDraw episode number 73.
Imagine doing magic for Roy Keane. That guy.
But he actually looked happy.
I know.
Do you know what I liked it? They were joking around with like the camera crew.
Yeah.
It was nice. But yeah, we're back. It's been a week.
I don't know. It's been some time, but football's coming thick and fast now because it's December. It's the Christmas period. We've got midweek football.
Everyone who donated for us and on November, because the remnants are here.
Yeah, the beards are trying to level out.
They're going to slowly fade away. I just haven't had the time to shave it.
No, neither have I. The beards are leveling themselves out.
Yeah, you'll be back to seeing our us as normal, as the regular.
Mad, but yeah, shout out everyone. Shout out for the love.
But yeah, this weekend threw up a whole plethora of interesting games. Probably some that we didn't expect. I'm highlighting Liverpool versus Fulham. Didn't expect that to be as exciting as it was. Burnley, Sheffield United.
Yeah, there's some talking points. Where do you want to start? Talking points.
Let's start with the big game of the weekend. We have Man City 3, Spurs Hotspur 3.
Mad. I was expecting Spurs to get slapped. They're off the back of 3 losses in a row.
No Van de Ven, no Christian Romero, no Madders.
How can you play a back line of Pedro Porro, who is actually alright to be fair, but Emerson Royale and Ben Davies and then Udogie
against the team who just done the triple
and
the treble?
We were talking about this. They were talking about this after the game and how the first half performance from Spurs was like suicidal, and then it kind of leveled out. Apparently, Ange got them in at half time and was like, "Why you all?
You got to do it in the Australian accent.
You fucking stupid cunt!
Why are you guys doing it? Why are you playing like that?"
Yeah, and he got them believing in themselves. Apparently, he was just like, "You can do this. You're overthinking it all." And they came out second half. Still a couple of wobbly moments, couple of lax passes from the defence, but
Emerson Royale.
I reckon second half they dominated the middle of the pitch. They were so good.
For me, we said this last weekend on the pod. We said that this is the ideal game for Spurs to bounce back after a couple of iffy results. We obviously knew the minute they lost Maddison, they lost Bissouma, they lost Romero, they lost Van de Ven. That is the spine of their team. Bar Vicario and Son up top. That is the spine of their team. And they had Wolves, Villa,
Aston Villa, yes,
Chelsea,
and Chelsea.
Obviously, Chelsea was the one where they lost half those players, and then and they had a few bad results, sort of to be expected.
But in those games, there was performances like in the Aston Villa game. I'd say they were the better team, unlucky to lose.
Kulusevski was really good in that game for me.
Wolves, they obviously lost in the last minute, so they were unlucky there. And the Chelsea's game, suicidal football, but they came out of it with plaudits. So they haven't had bad performances. They've just... I think the start of the season was them overachieving. They're kind of balancing out now, and the injuries is making that worse.
Caught up to them, but it's an upward trajectory now.
But a performance like that against the best team in the world, they didn't play like the best team in the world, and we'll get onto that. But yeah, if I was Spurs, I'd come out of that game buzzing, mate.
Yeah, it was great. Lo Celso, Giovanni Lo Celso, it was his second start in a row.
Yeah, I've got a note here that Big Ange's man management doesn't get enough credit. He gets all the credit for this kind of high line attacking football, but he's got and I think that comes with him being like a lovely Aussie guy.
Likeable guy, yeah.
He's got like a man management situation that's clearly working, where players that aren't in the first 11, like Lo Celso, like Emerson Royale, like Ben Davies, who they were starters and now they're not. He's got them back in the team, playing his football, and they're loving it. And I think, yeah, testament to him for managing to come in as a new guy, kind of unproven, but get all these, not necessarily big names, but get all these kind of players on side that might throw up a fuss. But
can I just say something? Yeah, and I can attest to this myself. As a player or a fan of a team,
I thought you were calling yourself a player then.
I am a player.
Come on.
But if you have gone through the likes of Jose Mourinho, Nuno Espirito Santos, Antonio Conte, Gareth Ainsworth football, and then you bring in someone who plays exciting football,
Believe in yourself football,
press
yeah.
football, unlocks the creative players in your team. And mate, who doesn't want to play for that? I'm seeing that.
Facts.
I want to go play for QPR in a minute under Marty.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean?
A shout.
It's amazing what that can do. It's a whole flip.
Yeah, that is true.
And there are going to be players like probably Lo Celso who saw the way that Jose was playing, the way that Conte was playing. Oh, I'm not going to fit in those systems.
True, but
And it's great. And to be an attacking player, that's what you want. You unleash the freedom of these players, and you will reap the rewards. They are good enough. There's a reason they're playing at this level.
true.
For
that.
me, Spurs rode their luck at times, but I think that's what they're going for. They are going to ride their luck at times.
Yeah.
And that is all part of having this high press, this high line.
Yeah, a combination of having that high line and having like just a bit of a shit defence. Like you're going to ride your luck.
Yeah.
That's what it comes. I want to touch on the point where you're saying creative freedom and kind of expressing yourself. That's where players want to play. I was going to talk about this later, but what's going wrong at City? Are they becoming too robotic, too uncreative? Is that non-creative, uncreative? I don't know.
Too boring.
Too boring. Are they losing this kind of personality that these players have? Foden, like we say all the time, one of the most gifted players in world football. Julian Alvarez, Jack Grealish came to Man City, one of the most creative players in the Premier League. Doku, he's probably not had that drilled out of him just yet. But these players are full of creativity. João Cancelo is an example of someone that maybe that's why he beefed Pep. Maybe he wanted to express himself a bit more on the pitch, and Pep was like, fuck that, you're getting out of the team.
There was a really weird quote from a Spanish journalist about João Cancelo. I can't remember what it was, but it was about him like stropping basically and saying like, if he's shit, he's really shit, and if he's good, he's the best. And that was basically it. But for me,
what's going on at City?
Your point is very valid. I think
Thanks, man.
This game, if it gets replayed 5 times, City win 4 of them, and it's about 6-0 because Haaland missed a few sitters this game. I think there were other City players
bastard. I had a bet for him to have a shot on target plus loads of other stuff. All the other stuff came in. He did have a shot on target.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. We said this. Pep does. He drills the individuality out of players.
Yes.
Unless you're like a central midfielder like De Bruyne, who is he allows to charge through the middle of the pitch. He doesn't want his wide players being like Ronaldinho.
There's only certain players that Pep allows kind of proper freedom. You're talking Messi. You're talking De Bruyne.
Maybe.
I was thinking maybe like Joshua Kimmich, but not even.
Maybe Müller.
Yeah, there's like very specific players, and this City team, for me, looking in, and I see this on the timeline, even City fans are saying this now, you kind of, and maybe this plays into the fact that the stadiums aren't always full when Pep's calling out the lack of atmosphere. It's because people find City a bit boring now.
Oh, mate, they are. They are boring. And for me, their team is missing a bit of bite, a bit of ferocity. They don't have that person, I feel, in that team at the minute who stands up and wants to be accounted for. They don't have that Vincent Kompany, even that Aguero, that aggressiveness.
Is that not Rodri though?
But he's not.
He's
not,
having a mad. I want to talk about Rodri, a little expose.
But for me, he's not an aggressive player.
Oh, I think he is.
I don't think he's as aggressive as everyone thinks he is.
I think he's he is their main guy when he wants to be.
He's
Champions
nowhere
League final
near
winner.
The leader level of Fernandinho. Nowhere near. That's what I feel this City team is lacking for me, is leaders. Haaland, for me, isn't a leader at the top of the pitch. He wants to float around and be unnoticed so he can then do what he does best and hit you when you leave him for a second.
So what, Gundogan, him leaving?
Gundogan's massive for me. I think even someone like Riyad Mahrez is a big loss. Yeah, I don't know. And they've got like Ake, Akanji, even Guardiola. I don't see these players.
Guardiola was shit.
I don't see these players as people who are going to marshal a defence.
No.
And maybe that's just me doing them a discredit.
Ruben Diaz not having the best season.
No. John Stones, obviously, he's been.
I want to touch on John Stones.
So, but yeah, for me, there's a lack of leadership. There's a lack of clear leadership figures in this team. People who want City to just be a bit more aggressive, a bit more ferocious. I like that Haaland was getting angry at the referee for blowing the whistle, which we'll talk about. I like those things, but has the fight gone from City? I don't know.
Well, that's what Roy Keane was saying. That is like, as much as they might say they're as hungry as ever, when you win 3 Prems in a row, when you win the treble, it's only natural to not be as hungry. You might put on an act and be like, no, we want 4 in a row.
You're never going to say...
But like, what is
You're never
going
to turn around and say,
yeah,
don't know, we might take it easy this year, yeah.
No, exactly. But I think there is like a point in that once you've won it 3 times, you've done the treble, like, unless you do the quadruple, which is mental, the motivation will dip. And I think that, coupled with, I think John Stones, I've slandered De Bruyne, so I'm not going to say he's a massive miss, but he is a big miss, having that kind of, his ability to just, like, in
he's
this
a
game,
game winner, he's a game
if
changer.
they had De Bruyne, Haaland would have scored about 5.
Yeah.
Just straight over that high line from De Bruyne. But De Bruyne to the side, I think John Stones is a huge miss, because they're playing Rodri alongside makeshift players. You put in Rico Lewis there, who I don't think is good enough. You put in a Kanji at centre mid, who I don't think is good enough. And I think John Stones is perfect in that role, because he's a defender technically, but he's got all the passing range.
Switched on as well.
Yeah, so switched on. He's a big miss in that role. I think Rodri at the moment is looking a little bit lost by himself. I don't know if it's because he's not really got a relationship with who he's getting shoved alongside with. But, yeah, I think he's just not having the kind of same effect that he did when he was alongside John Stones. Like, in that Champions League final, Rodri and John Stones together were fucking... You're not getting past that. And then if you do, you've got that back line. It's kind of what Arsenal got at the moment. You struggle to get past Declan Rice, but if you do get past Declan Rice, you've got that back line.
You've got Saliba and Gabriel.
But now, you're catching Man City on the transition easy. You saw in the Champions League... RB Leipzig were 2-0 up in like half an hour, catching Ruben Diaz cold. In this game, Son caught Doku tracking back bad. So, City, they just seem easier to play. I saw a stat. Last 4 games, they've conceded 11 goals. That's not Man City.
I saw as well, Man United in the last 5 games.
Yeah, they're fucked.
100 shots.
That's fucked, yeah. We'll talk about
That's
Man United.
nuts.
But yeah,
for me...
When have you ever heard City 4 games in a row, in 4 games to concede 11...
I think
no winning 3 in the Prem.
If we go back to this time last year, or maybe just a little bit before, we were saying the same things.
Yeah, that's the fucking boring bit,
we were saying,
isn't it?
Are City better off without Haaland? And like, we need to remember this. We need to look back, because history has a tendency to repeat itself.
When they start getting going, yeah.
Arsenal were top of the league. The only difference this season is that Liverpool are actual competitors.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're near their best.
No, I want to talk about Liverpool after.
And we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But for me, Man City... They're never going to be more than 5 points away from the top.
Yeah, that's a scary thing for everyone else, is that they haven't won a Premier League game in 3 games.
And they're
3 points off top. And yeah, so that's a scary thing, is that you can never count them out. As much as we say, what's wrong with City? Not a lot.
So the thing is, they have the best manager in the world. They have the best striker in the world. They have one of the best goalkeepers in the world. They have some of the best depth in the world.
Although that depth is a little bit wobbly at the moment. I saw, like, in my opinion, when you're bringing Rico Lewis on, I think the bench was like Oscar Bob, who I rate, but like, he's unproven. He's unproven. I think you've got Calvin Phillips, who
isn't going to get on the pitch.
Useless. I think you're playing 2. I think they had both Carson and whoever the other Don is.
Ortega.
Both of them on the bench. So the bench is a little bit...
The problem is...
Apart from Grealish, you
haven't got any, like, killers on there. Would you rather this slump come after January, where, you know, if they sell off Calvin Phillips for 45 million, who they're going to bring in, and they get rid of some other deadwood, I don't know. But they're going to probably spend a little bit more money. I don't know what their impending financial implications are.
That's facts. If they're not top of the league,
or go home.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they're not top of the league come January, they'll see that as fucking let's go out and spend and get top of the league sorted.
But yeah, I think for Spurs it's a fantastic result. It's a real... It could be the end to this slump if they build on it. But it only means something if they build on it.
It's an end to the slump, and it's just further validation that even if they're not getting points, this Postecoglou style of play will get them somewhere in the not too distant future.
And I'm not going to say he's fortunate, because I think it's a fantastic result. He's put out a team, with Emerson Royale and Ben Davies as centre backs against the best team in the world, maybe the best team the Premier League's ever seen.
Yeah, facts.
Do you know what I mean? The only one other team has won a treble, and he played Ben Davies and fucking Emerson Royale. That's nuts.
It's mad.
I can't even explain to you how nuts that is. But I think
before we finish on this game, Did you see the referee call at the end where he stopped the game as Haaland plays a Kevin De Bruyne-esque through ball to Jack Grealish?
Mate, if you're a Man City fan, you're absolutely raging.
My head is gone.
And I agree with that. I think it's a mistake from the referee.
I'll be doing a Haaland. Have you seen some of the still shots of Haaland shouting at
I
the
like
ref?
the way
It's
after the
crazy.
game just like tweeted, was it WTF? Like,
WTF indeed, referee.
it's a bad mistake.
Yeah,
It's a bad mistake.
Bobby Madley, is that the ref? I think.
He had a really good game as well, though.
Yeah,
really good game, and it's annoying that one thing like this contain your whole.
It was so
game.
bad.
But this isn't like a mid-table battle. This could be the difference between Man City being on level points with Arsenal.
Well, yeah, this is exactly the point you made for the Arsenal, and not that like some decisions are more important than other decisions depending on who's playing, but
the implication.
You're talking hundreds of millions of pounds as well. So
Big time.
maybe some are more important. Where it's like when Aston Villa.
Well, there's a reason that the biggest.
Who was it? Someone had a goal that was past the line but didn't count, and then Aston Villa stayed up in the Prem.
Oh, that was Watford.
That's hundreds of millions of pounds. Like the repercussions of these decisions.
There's a reason why the biggest refs and the most experienced refs get to referee the biggest games, because
the implications
bigger
are crazy.
games are more important,
Yeah.
and that's just that's the nature of football. That's why teams try and get to play in the big game.
Exactly. So, like, the Newcastle Arsenal decision is huge. This one is huge. You're making big errors in big games.
Liverpool Spurs
that are like
the worst one.
Yeah,
so far.
it's so bad.
For me, the main issue is the fact that we've seen it in the last few seasons. Players playing through and continue to play when they are offside, but the referee won't put it up to the lines, won't call it to the last minute. They're risking injury. We've seen players do their hammies chasing the ball because even though it's offside, because the linesman won't put the flag up to the last minute. They've been instructed to do that. So why wasn't this called to the last minute? There is no. It's ridiculous. They should have let the play on. He let him play on and then called it back late.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But Haaland gets fouled and stays on his feet. He plays the advantage. Play on. So Haaland sees Jack Grealish make a run. Onside. He's in his own half at this point. Nice through ball over top. Jack's one-on-one. The ref has played on. Sees Jack is one-on-one. Calls it back. So poor. So poor.
Seen a lot of people saying, oh yeah, but he wasn't even near the goal. He didn't.
Oh no. 100% Jack Grealish is missing that chance in my opinion. But
the point still stands.
Yeah, that's irrelevant.
It doesn't matter at all. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's poor. I think the referee.
It shows a lack of ball knowledge from the referee.
The referee has made a massive error.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They haven't come out and cleared it up yet. But I don't know whether he's thought that.
I think they have. I think they've just put it down to a human error.
That Jack Grealish has fouled.
No, I think it's come out. The PGMO have said like it's human error.
Yeah, but they don't explain why.
Oh, no, but like a human error is just like that's enough explanation.
Is it though? Is it no? Because like we need to understand like
what's going on in his thick skull.
If you make a mistake at your job, they ask you why did this mistake happen. Where is the accountability here? And I don't.
There's none for referees.
I don't want him to get like death threats. I don't want him to lose his job.
I do, pussy. No, I'm joking. Shout out.
If we act like that, no one's ever going to want to referee a football game again, and we're going to end up with
robots. Do it.
I think but that takes. Then there's zero subjectivity. Then there's zero ball knowledge. Then we become like the NFL. There is
something needs to happen because I think our last 5 videos have had a VAR.
Did you see? What's the name of the Donny in charge of the PGMOL?
Howard Webb.
He's He wants to fast track retired footballers to be. Who the fuck's gonna want to do that?
I don't know.
You've got to catch someone, who's done like a Stephen Corker and like rinsed his bank account, has got no P left.
Like in essence, the idea is good because I think a lot of the argument is that like these referees have never played football. Like they'll give like a slight touch on the shoulder as a foul, but as an ex-player, you know that that's not a foul. But they don't know that because they weren't ex-players. So having ex-players in is good, but you're still going to get the same issues that these ex-players and the referees now, they just don't have enough skill with VAR. They don't have enough exposure to it all, so they're making mistakes.
Does the referee need to have more... Does the referee need to be more influenced by VAR? So does VAR need to be in the referee's ear and say, play on? and the referee needs to instantly play it on.
I don't know what the communications are like, but do you see whenever like something happens, you get like
It's
played
like
back?
20 people shouting.
Yeah, it's a mess, and
You've got the people. You've got one guy who's there giving them different angles to look at.
you got like an angles man, you've got like an X. Yeah, you got like the fifth official.
What do they call the park where it is?
Oh, Stockley Park.
Stockley Park, yeah. So you've got the one guy who's in charge of the cameras. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's a
and then the
mess.
guy at Stockley Park's like, oh, yeah, can I have a different angle? But why has that guy not just got access to it? Why do you need two people to do that job? Makes no sense.
I don't know. And
So
maybe
you've got one person looking for the best angle of something, and then you've got Stockley Park looking at it, reviewing it, see if it's got. Then you've got someone else like who's there going, well, that's not a foul, or that is a foul by the letter of the law. Then it's going to referee. Brother, how many people do you need to? I'm looking at it on the screen of my house, yeah, and I can tell. They're fucking stupid, man. It's
they
literally.
are. Well, I think that's my main issue with it all. In the like, not calling them stupid, but that is it. I think there's just too much stupidity, and I think what's happened is these referees have gotten a job in the 90s or the early noughties. When
Mate,
you probably
they
wouldn't have
started 5 years ago, or 10 years ago.
you wouldn't have required that many kind of like technology skills. But now you need to be clued up on technology, angles, mathematics.
Mate, the most technology was the goal on technology.
And that's what I'm saying. If I had my dad fucking VAR systems, he'd shit himself. And that's like these guys. It's like 60-year-old men on like 20-year-old like our gen technology, and they're fucking clueless.
To be honest, yeah, the main like 3 easy fixes now off the top of my head. I can't even think of one.
Maximum age for a VAR official 40. You're not allowed to discriminate by age, but I'm gonna.
It's like the Michael Scott, isn't it? The ageism.
Yeah.
But then,
You need hair on your head. I saw this game. Bobby Madley and his 2 second official and third officials were all bald. And then they panned to Howard Webb, or wherever the fuck he was. He's bald as well.
Yeah.
What the hell is
it's
going
like a
on?
Bald man alliance.
Maybe it's the stress making them bald, but you got a hair requirement as well.
Do you reckon you pass your referee training,
you
exams,
buzz gun.
and then you buzz gun.
Yeah, it's like
That's
fucking
the sign,
SAS. Yeah, come on.
So they need to introduce the offside technology from the Qatar World Cup.
Yeah.
That was flawless. But how many times did we talk about VAR in Qatar World Cup?
Yeah.
I'm
Literally
maybe
none.
once.
Yeah,
I can't even.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was because we were applauding it. Needs to be less people involved. Too many cooks in the kitchen. It's too corporate.
Facts.
They're trying to do this like it's a business. And it is a business, but you're trying to review something through 5 different people, but give someone an answer within 2 minutes. It's never going to happen. How difficult can it be? Like, they need to give some insight to behind the scenes of VAR, how this is working, why it is how it is. Because you've got the most powerful fan base here in the world. You've got football fans, yeah? You've got reaches into every corner of the globe, from the richest people to the poorest people. And you're not using them to help influence the development of this technology. You're only using people within the game. The worst people are within the game. Look at Sepp Blatter. Look what he's done to the game.
The beautiful game.
Do you know what I mean? These people, they don't know. They don't understand. They think they understand because they're involved. That is the main issue. There is a
VAR. We're talking about VAR again.
Yeah, fuck VAR. Let's move on to let's talk about Liverpool. Fulham.
Yeah, Liverpool 4, Fulham 3. What game, man?
Nuts. Trent.
I put out an apology tweet. Did you see it?
I don't know why you're apologising though.
I think the last couple of pods we've kind of slowly worked to the decision. So I think the initial decision was that Trent is shit. We prefer Reece James.
No. That wasn't it.
No, it was. And then it became...
we don't want either of them.
And then it became we don't want either of them. Now I want Trent back. It's like one of those ones where you fucking split up with your first girlfriend because you think you can do better. You try better and it's not actually better. You just want the first girl back. And Trent, I want you back, baby.
Mate, he's so good at the things he's good at.
Yeah, because our argument...
That's not like... It sounds stupid to say it that, but he really is.
If you just look through our tweets, or it's my tweets really, because I do all the embarrassing tweets, you can see like chronologically my kind of like shift in mentality. Because I actually tweeted probably about a month ago, Trent is good. Like literally what you just said, Trent is amazing at what he's amazing at, but he's not so much more amazing at them than Reece is that you don't discount
Reece James' defensive ability.
Exactly. But now I think you do. Because I think
you're saying that, but
Trent's hit a different
neither
level.
of them start over Trippier or Walker.
Or Ben White. Sorry, guy on our TikTok said Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I replied, yeah, I'll back Ben White and Trippier. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, not so much, Chief. I was like, who's this guy?
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Was it Gaffers?
No, was it Gaffers? Shout out Gaffers every time.
Oh, mate. But yeah, he is good.
Let us know if
That
you want
free
Gaffers back
kick,
on the pod. What guy?
It's disgraceful that went down as an own goal.
Yeah.
That's where the subjectivity just come in. Don't care that came off Leno. Just give it to Trent.
Yeah.
He's done all the hard work. Got involved late on as well.
Trent, that was the last minute winner against Man City. The goals
Equaliser.
Equalised against Man City. But yeah, he's becoming more and more clutch. Like back in his like prime, even though he's only like 24, 25, he was assisting Firmino, Salah and Mane. He wasn't like, yes, he was
chipping in.
Yeah, he was one of the main guys. But
I mean, there's a reason he got the plaudits for all his free kicks, because he was scoring a lot of free kicks.
Yeah, but then he wasn't like the face of this Liverpool team. Salah was the face of the Liverpool team.
Once Salah leaves now, he's the face of the team.
He is Mr. Liverpool now. I think he's already like Salah's having a quality season, but I think everybody knows Salah's leaving.
Maybe January.
And Trent is kind of taking it up a notch. Him moving into midfield, he's more involved in all aspects of the play rather than just holding the right hand side and crossing it in. He's involved in everything, and yeah, he is Mr. Liverpool now. And I think this kind of clutch ability that he's got is something that I don't think Reece James has. And I think this, like, he's durable, plays most games. Reece James doesn't have that. And yeah, he's just got X factor, mate.
Yeah,
Simon Cowell,
I think
fucking yes, please.
He's one of those players who, when he's enjoying his football and he feels he's confident in himself,
Yeah.
he's going to thrive.
Special.
He's going to be the best in the Premier League, if not the world, at what he does.
Yeah.
It's just getting that consistency, getting that constantly, and it's fine. But let's not look past the fact that they've conceded 3 goals to Fulham.
Well, that's why I want to talk about everyone saying that they're in a title charge.
I mean, they are. They're 2 points off Arsenal.
Yeah, like they are.
And they would be ahead of you if they didn't get screwed over in the Spurs game.
Yeah, but we can say the same about Newcastle game. Fight me. This is not, what's the word? I was going to say feasible, but that's not the word.
It's not a title pedigree team.
It's not, oh, fucking hell, what's the word? It's not, like, it's not going to last the whole season. You're not
you can't. It's not sustainable.
Sustainable, come on. It's not sustainable to be conceding this many goals if you want to win the title.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I've said this this might be the 10th podcast in a row. They need to go out in January and get
a DM, mate.
Exactly. They need to spend big.
Basically, in my opinion, and they have kind of rebuilt this team, but they've rebuilt it in a weird way where Trent wasn't the focus. My opinion is, like, Szoboszlai, great signing, McAllister, great signing, who else they signed, Endo, fine, whatever. They should have...
Endo, not fine.
They should have, before signing all of those, been like, Trent, you are playing in this midfield role, be it at right back or in starting centre mid.
How do we facilitate you?
How do we facilitate you? What did you like about Fabinho? What do you like about Jordan Henderson? Who can we get that is going to allow you to just be the main man in this team and just build the team around that? They haven't. They've been like, oh, we're losing XYZ.
we lost Fabinho in the last minute of the window, so we're going to replace him by putting Curtis Jones or McAllister at DM.
And they're like, oh, we'll put creativity elsewhere. You don't need creativity elsewhere when you've got Trent. Trent is the sole source of everything good at Liverpool.
I think, like, for me, I like what you're saying. They need to get... They're going to... For me, let's do a little run through their team. Alisson, keep him. Obviously, great. Had a bit of a stinker against City. Out injured against...
he's out for
Fulham.
a bit. Yeah, we'll talk about Nick Pope, but he might be out for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I've seen Ramsdale and De Gea linked.
I didn't say De Gea, but I saw Ramsdale, yeah.
But yeah, so Alisson obviously keep... Right back's going to be a problem if they don't have Trent playing there.
Yes.
But I think that's the right call. Don't have Trent playing there.
No, I agree.
So they need to go in the market, maybe get a right back. I don't think Joe Gomez is the permanent solution, but I think he'll do a job.
I think he is... That kind of ilk is what I need. I want a Ben White. I want someone that can play centre-back and right-back together. I want someone that's... And Joe Gomez, in essence, is that. He was right-back.
Yeah, 100%.
So maybe it's just a case of he's fallen off, lack of confidence, not playing enough. That build, I want a big unit guy to do that role.
Van Dijk's having a much better season this year.
Van Dijk's solid.
I know they're conceding a lot more goals, but Van Dijk's having a much better season than last year on his own. Konate's not having the best season, but I think he's fine. I think he'll just get his confidence back. Matip as well, very understated, very, very good.
Yeah, I think Matip's good. And then Robbo's out at the moment.
Robbo's
but he's
out.
good.
Tsimikas,
good as well, yeah.
smashed the crossbar from like 30 yards.
Rowdy.
I don't mind him.
Yeah, I think he's all right.
Defensively, I don't think he's as good as Robertson.
No, I agree.
But he's really good at crossing that ball.
Yeah.
The main issue here then is
world-class DM.
a world-class DM. And I think you play world-class DM, Trent on the right, Szoboszlai on the left.
Yeah.
I think that's your best three.
And I don't want to always bring it back to Arsenal, but we are fucking good at the moment. And I'd say not 80%, but like 75% of the reason we are so good, and I think odds on to win the Prem, is Declan Rice.
Yeah.
He is so special. His like defensive stats are insane, and just it's like the amount of kind of confidence he puts on everyone behind him, around him, that even if you make a mistake, and that's what Trent needs. It needs you can play that pass, Trent. You could, and if it doesn't come off, I'll win the ball back. You can push forward. If you get dispossessed, I'll win the ball back. Trent doesn't have anyone in that Liverpool team that probably gives him that confidence like Fabinho did. You need to fill Trent with confidence to do things without the fear that every time he makes a mistake, we're going to be on the podcast calling him out because he's been exposed behind.
And that is clearly what he's afraid of.
And that's what I'm saying. He's getting exposed every time he makes a mistake. When if you had a world-class DM in there, these mistakes wouldn't get exposed because that world-class DM would be there sweeping it up.
Yeah.
And I don't know who that is.
But maybe I've just had a little idea for a video before January. We'll take the big six. We'll take 3 teams each.
And
we'll
signings.
all suggest
a
couple
like
signings. Let's
nice.
get that. But
Don't
yeah,
steal that idea.
So, and then going forward, Liverpool.
Liverpool quality.
I mean, Salah's going to be a starter. They've got Diaz probably. I think it's on the left.
Yeah,
and
Nunez missing sitters all day. What a guy.
But he's chaos. We like the chaos.
Yeah, we love Nunez.
But yeah,
do you see his new hair? It's kind of like double
I
claps.
saw Dada Binks.
Yeah, he's
it's
funny.
weird, man. But
I saw Nunez.
He's crazy.
He's a funny guy. But yeah, Liverpool, I think there is positivity there, but we're just going to go on about it, but we need that DM.
Should we...
if you want to unlock pure Trent.
Yeah. Should we wrap this up just speaking a little bit on Burnley?
Yes, Burnley 5, Sheffield United 0.
I think this result almost flatters... No, it doesn't flatter Burnley. It's because Sheffield United are just that bad.
Yeah, I've got a note here.
Like,
are they the worst Prem team ever? Because obviously we don't really remember the shit Derby team.
I've seen a lot of shit Premier League teams.
Oh, we have seen,
but like you were looking at a different end of the table to when I was.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I can't think of any team. It's mental that they got that result against Wolves, because if not, they'd be on. I don't know how many points they'd be on, but they wouldn't be on a lot.
It's not so Everton, who were also tipped for relegation, got a 10-point deduction and
they're
now 2
pretty
points
much
off
fine.
City.
Yeah, but they're so bad. 5-0 Burnley. It's first.
Because Burnley have also been by far the second worst team in the league.
I think Burnley are terrible, and I saw a lot of people saying, Vincent Kompany, congratulations, sticking by your guns, playing this possession-based football.
But you've done it against...
That means nothing, because you're playing against the shittest team ever.
Sheffield United, this current Sheffield United team, I do not think would finish in the top 6 in the Championship.
No, I can't imagine they would.
I don't know how the fuck they've ended up in the Premier League again.
So bad. And, like, on the Vincent Kompany thing, it's stupidity to play that kind of football against good teams.
We said this at the beginning of the season. Fair play if you come and you try it.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't working. It's not working.
He's getting
we
battered.
are in December, mate, and you are staring down the barrel of relegation.
There's a reason they've won one home game all season, and it was against the worst team in the league. It's because you're playing suicide football, like what Ange is doing at Spurs. But because Spurs are better than 90% of the teams in the league, that's going to work. Whereas Burnley are not better than... They are
literally worse than 98% of the teams in the league.
So they're the worst team, so it's not going to work. So, I don't know. Vincent Kompany, fair enough, first home win, fair play. But Burnley fans, I wouldn't get excited. You're getting relegated,
the second worst manager in the league, beating the worst manager in the league. Paul Heckingbottom, I think, is all but out.
Yeah.
Chris Wilder, rumoured to, and might already be taken over by the time this podcast comes out.
It fills me with, like, no inspiration whatsoever.
I saw a stat is if Chris Wilder does get the Sheffield United job, a quarter of the Premier League will be managed by ex-Watford managers. That's nuts.
Who are they?
So you got Wilder.
Yep.
Sean Dyche. You've got Marco Silva.
Marco Silva, that's a good one.
Who else we got?
Let me look at the teams. Rob Edwards.
Hodgson.
That's
5.
That's
a
nuts.
quarter of the Premier League.
That's nuts. That's where Ten Hag's going to end up soon. Watford.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That is nuts. That was like when we were doing the goalkeeper ranking, and we noticed that like a weird amount of them have played for Arsenal.
Yeah, it's because Arsenal's psycho goalkeepers like
there's going to be Ramsdale
Watford
next
through
as
managers.
well.
But yeah, for me, Sheffield United are done and dusted.
Yeah, I
Chris
agree.
Wilder is not the guy either.
No, not at all. Like if you're looking,
If anything, is you've literally just gone from bad to bad. It's sideways. He has more
almost
pedigree.
rather Big Sam.
He has more pedigree than Heckenbottom, but there's a plethora of managers out there.
You've got to just be willing to take a risk. Like QPR, you take an unknown Spanish handsome man, call him in, and you're playing nice football. Obviously, Sheffield United are a different kettle of fish. They've got takeover issues. They've got monetary issues. Not that QPR don't. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just an uninspired choice. I know Chris Wilder's probably got a lot of stock with the fans, and maybe that's what they need. They need, like, someone to get the fans back on side.
He went to Middlesbrough and failed with Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Like, he's not done anything since.
I don't know. Prem's heating up, though. Chelsea beat Brighton 3-2. That was interesting.
Newcastle beat you, Man United.
United... Oh, we've already done a how to fix Man United, but they are in dire straits. I've seen a lot of people come in for Rashford now. I think his time is up. I saw someone tweet that Rashford is what Aubameyang was towards the end of his tenure at Arsenal. He's a player that will give you moments, but this manager is trying to impart a very new style of play and trying to shoehorn Aubameyang, trying to shoehorn Marcus Rashford in, is to the detriment of this manager's new style of play.
They're playing him out on the right now. And then
they've got
Martial playing on
I don't know how Martial is back in the team over Hodgland.
I think he hasn't completed a 90 minutes for them in like 4 years or something.
Honestly, Man United fans, I'm so glad.
I'm sick of talking about them.
United.
And I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Before we end, I want to do some Arsenal propaganda.
I mean, we're looking at the table now.
And we should do, because we're top.
And it's for the 4th of December, so we're starting to see it really shape up and how we're going to see it end, basically.
Indeed.
Arsenal, fair play to them. I haven't been their biggest plaudits this year. I probably haven't given them all
a lot of people haven't. They said that we haven't...
But I feel like as an Arsenal fan yourself, you'd probably admit that you haven't played the scintillating football you played at the beginning of last season.
And I think that comes with...
Playing Champions League.
That as well. But if you take a bit off the front, add a bit to the back... and we said this about Declan Rice, so much more solid now. Best XG against...
least
XG against. I think we're on like 10 goals should have been conceded all season in 14 games, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, the detriment of your team last season was the injury to Saliba. You've brought in someone like Declan Rice, who's going to take the weight off someone like Saliba.
Yeah,
and that weight gets taken off higher up the pitch. So
indeed.
That only benefits your attacking players. I mean, for me, you don't have to be special. You don't have to be outrageous and smashing teams 6-5, 4, 7-0 every week. If you're winning and getting 3 points on the board, you're doing something that Man City's not doing at the minute.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody goes on about how when Man City click, they win 14 games in a row, and you just don't notice it.
But what if you click?
That's what I'm saying. What if we click and we get a run of like 10 games in a row? We go clear. So... all in all, I think we're good. We touch wood, quite good with injuries at the moment. I know Tomiyasu went off last game, but he's come in, and him and Ben White are being able to cover each other. Tomiyasu can also cover left back, which is nice.
When's Shurian Timber due back?
They say like
end of Jan,
February time, but I don't know about that. But yeah, I think squad depth is good, better than ever. I think all of this basically leads me on to say
Havertz hitting a little bit of form as well.
Yeah, 2 goals. 3 and 3, 2 and 2. Yeah, it's nice. Do we need to put more respect on Arteta's name? I know...
we say this.
Everyone says he bottled it last season. And maybe he did. Maybe it's injuries. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he hasn't won anything. He won the FA Cup.
It is what it is. But the meaningful silverware will bring him respect.
Yeah.
I think he has respect. You don't take Man City to a title challenge without earning some kudos along the way. You don't be top of the Premier League for so long last season. And then
does he have enough respect? Is what I'm saying.
Don't completely clear your group in the Champions League without having some respect. We know how good a manager he is. It's working, and we're seeing
seeing people not put respect on his name.
You've beaten Pep in the Community Shield this year, and in the league. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah, and I think what I want him to get respect for is the ability to come into a toxic club a club where there's big fish earning too much money. And this happens at a lot of big clubs. You can say Man United, Chelsea, they've had this as well. To come in and at this point, he's a manager that has no experience or anything, so he hasn't even got that kind of
the only pedigree
money
he's
in
got
the
is that
bank.
it was Pep's system.
Exactly, he's got no money in the bank, apart from the fact that he was an ex-Arsenal player. But he's got no money, like managerial money in the bank.
He's got well nice hair though.
He's a handsome man. Maybe that's what's getting him along. Most handsome manager in the Prem?
Oh, Dyche is up there.
Anyway.
I mean, Chris Wilder's coming back as well.
Yeah, come on. Hodgson?
My boy Hodgie, he's on the level.
To come into a toxic environment, strip the club, rebuild it, new kind of way of thinking in the hardest league in the world.
And shift out your goalkeeper.
And do that all while competing against arguably the best Premier League team ever. To do all of that, why are we not saying this is a masterstroke? Because people have come in. People have come into Man United not being able to do that kind of rebuild of a club. People have come into Chelsea. They've had about 17 managers in the last year, not being able to rebuild a club. To rebuild a club, is that harder than winning trophies?
You need to think about going on behind the scenes. Edu's done a massive job.
Yeah,
I think he's been a massive part of this, and you've been backed. You've been backed. It was with smart decisions. So yeah, I mean, you have to give him respect. You have to give him respect. I don't know how much respect you're looking for. I don't know. If
I want loads.
You just want like a Spurs fan to just
third best manager in the Premier League, and he's coming for second.
But I feel like we can draw parallels to Eddie Howe at Newcastle. I mean, they were literally doomed. This time when he took over 2 years ago, they were in the relegation zone at a point level where, like, I think 3 teams in entire Premier League history had survived. And he had them finish in the top 10.
Eddie Howe is an interesting one, actually.
Top 10. Look at the injuries that they've had this season.
Eddie Howe is a close parallel.
They've been shafted against PSG. They've beaten Man United.
Maybe we should do what does James Lawrence call his little wanky videos where he does
the riffle?
Where he does like an in-depth kind of analysis.
I don't know,
like the narrative or something. We should do a in-depth analysis and comparison between Eddie Howe and Mikel Arteta.
But for me, that was just as toxic an environment. I mean, obviously they had just had the takeover, but a lot of people are just saying he's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And look what he's doing. So yeah, for me, it's mental. Anything else you want to touch on?
Nah, I think that's all good, mate.
All good. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been BoreDraw, episode number 73. Everything you need is down in the description below. Check it out.
We'll be back soon as well because we've got midweek Prem.
Midweek Prem. Oh, I love the December fixture. Give me fixture congestion. It's BoreDraw episode 73 and it's live.